R&B money. We up. Tank. J Valentine. We are the authorities on all things R&B.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Tank.
I'm J Valentine.
And this is the R&B Money Podcast, the authority.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, we tapping into the source.
We tap the source.
Yes.
Remember the Matrix?
Yeah.
He said, where do you have to go? You know what I mean? Like Neo said he said, I have to go to the source. I gotta get to the foundation of all of this. Why is it like this? Why do we want to be like this? In the building, we have a pillar of the R&B construct. This man right here, Mr. Jefferey Osborne. Make
Yes,
some noise. Make some noise.
Yeah. He didn't flew in on the wings of love.
Oh, on the wings. Love.
Yeah.
Come on. You ain't gonna bend that note like that. Love. Boy. Here's a question. And we're gonna get into what I like to call our format as we go back into the history to the beginning of you and finding it and then getting all the way here. But how does it feel to be, if you don't mind me asking your age?
My age?
Sir.
Oh, I tell everybody my age all the time because I'm kind of proud of it.
Yeah.
Because I kind of stay in shape and I kind of like, well, I'm 74. I'll be 75 in March.
Come on, 75
Come on,
in March.
74,
Yeah.
75 in March.
Yeah.
How does it feel at 74, 75 in March to be new in 2022?
It's unbelievable, actually, because I see it coming back around. I'm just out working all the time, doing live shows, and it's like the hunger is there for old school R&B music. It's amazing. It's like it's come all the way full circle, it's back around, and it's new again. And people are, I have to do probably more L.T.D. songs in my show than I do my own songs. Wow. That's how far people want to go back. So, yeah, so it's a great feeling to see that it's been rejuvenated, and I'm seeing young people in my show. Crazy.
Starting with Brother D Nice on during Club Quarantine, putting our soul music, our foundational music, on an international platform,
Right?
Which you know,
The world got this.
the love affair began in such a way all over again, to going down to Miami with Mike Gardner and DJ Fly Guy and them having a night dedicated, Saturday night dedicated to R&B music.
Yeah.
The real
the
R&B
highlight
music.
room.
The highlight room.
Wednesday night in L.A.
Wednesday night in L.A.
Yeah.
Dedicated to soul R&B music.
It's incredible.
Thank you.
Hey,
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
no, I thank those people out there that supported it all those years
Yeah.
because it's amazing, and those people are still coming out.
Still.
Coming out.
It's like when you
amazing.
That's
when you
amazing.
dream up of a career, when you say, you know what, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. And it's not that you ever put an expiration date on yourself or say, okay, I'm going to retire at this point in time, which I tried to do. And, you know, Anita Baker won't let me. Jay won't let me. Like, it's just throw out a few names. But it's like to see yourself however many moons later,
Right.
still selling tickets.
Yeah. Yeah. People paying their hard
That's different.
to come see you.
Right.
Because
A stream is different.
a stream is different.
Yeah.
There's
You
a
just
lot of
click on
music.
something, yeah.
There's a lot of music that we'll listen to that we won't necessarily buy a ticket for. That's different. Because that's a different kind of income and a different level of entertainment and sustainability
Right.
that you still have, and you spoke on being in shape. You know what I'm saying? You look like you still throw a couple hands a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Some promoters get out of the line with
the
that
promoters
backhand.
don't got their backhand.
Hit him with a couple
Going off.
woo-woos.
Going
going
back
off.
to the chitlin circuit. Chitlin circuit, baby.
Yeah.
You want to woo-woo-woo.
You won't know. Woo, woo, woo.
Oh man.
But again, thank you, brother, for giving us something to pull from, giving us something to be inspired, something for us to aspire to. We
Well,
want to
you
be
know,
75, and
I always thought there was an expiration date until I started living it, and now I see that it's all about health, taking care of yourself, and taking care of your instrument. You know, because I'm running around with great grandchildren now.
Wow.
You know, when I first got married to my wife, we've been married 40 years. I'm like, well, we're gonna have kids. I already got kids that are like, 19, 20 years old. When we gonna have kids, am I gonna be able to run and play with my kids?
yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm running and playing with my great grandkids.
Wow.
So, I guess there is no expiration date. We all got to go at some point. But as far as feeling good, I see some of my constituents still in the business at 85, 86 years old, still out there singing shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legends, still out there doing it.
Yeah. Well,
That's
you're
amazing.
in that bag, brother.
Absolutely.
I'm trying
You
to
in
be.
that bag.
Yeah. And we supporting it.
You damn right we're supporting it because we are the authority
Yeah.
on R&B music.
Yeah.
So we got to bring them people through.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's go back to the beginning. Take us all the way back to the first time somebody said to you, or the first time you realized you had something special.
Back in Rhode Island.
Back in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it started at an early age for me because I'm the youngest of 12. And my mother used to make me sing for all her fans, or all her friends, when I was 4 and 5 years old. She just called me in the room and said, listen to my son sing. And I just sing. And so being the youngest of 12 and everybody playing instruments and singing, we all sat around and sang. We used to go out and sing Christmas carols. Christmas, we used to walk around the street, the whole family singing Christmas carols. So I knew that that's what I wanted to do at an early age. I think at 13 is when I started performing in nightclubs.
13.
You went straight to the
13.
club.
In nightclubs.
You was in the streets.
And that was actually my older brother, Billy, was playing. He had a little band, and I was going from Providence to New London, Connecticut at 13 years old. And check it out, I was making $10 a night. I thought that was the shit.
But wasn't it the shit, though?
It was the shit back then.
$10 a
there.
night.
I got a whole $10
That was
tonight.
right.
What you want to do?
That was
man?
61, 1961. $10 a night was.
I need somebody to
Some.
Google the inflation of $10.
What could you, with $10, if you went to the store, what could you get?
I
with
could
it?
get a bag of groceries. When I first started driving, gas was 19 cents a gallon. At 60.
Come on, man.
19 cents a
19
gallon.
cent. You know how far I would go?
They don't have to do this to us, is what he's saying. They don't have to do
They
this.
don't have to do this to us.
Right.
No,
They don't have to do
They
this.
don't. They don't.
$8
They
a gallon.
abuse- they abusing us.
19 cents a gallon when I first started driving. Wow. So
What's your first car?
my first car was like a 57 Chevy.
57 Chevy.
It was a dog too. It was smoking and shit.
They was
Well,
hopping
you know-
in though. I know they was hopping in.
I was-
I know they was
You
hopping
just had to
in.
get it.
Yeah.
It started a little slow, but once we get to moving, we're gonna be all right.
Right,
You know
exactly.
Jeffrey. You know Jeffrey with the 57 Chevy.
You know
Right.
Jeffrey. Yeah. He came on the way to get me, ma.
Can't you hear his car?
You could hear it too. As soon as it started up.
So the nightclubs.
Nightclubs,
Did
yeah.
you- was it everything you thought it was?
It was. I was like 13 years old, singing in front of all these adult people, and they were going crazy. And so I knew that's what I wanted to do. But at 15, I started playing drums. And that's what really got me into the love of this, because I got a chance to play with a lot of the local musicians around, and I really started doing my own thing in the nightclubs. And then I met the OJs when I was 15 at this club I used to play in. I went up there, was 15 years old, and I went to see them, and they had a drummer. Back then, the drug was heroin.
Come on, talk about it.
I mean,
that's a
all
tough drug.
all of our greats, all the jazz greats they were into heroin. So I'm watching this drummer, and he's nodding out after every song. The song ended, he's like, boom. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So I'm looking.
Hey, that's a whole nother level of get a drummer son. Don't get a drummer none. Shit.
Don't get a drummer now.
So, at the end of the night, I knew the club owner. I said, man, I want to meet the guys,
Yeah.
So I got a chance to meet Eddie, the OJs. They had 5 guys in the group back then.
Oh, wow.
And I said, y'all need a drummer. They said, yeah, man, you know any drummers in town? I said, well, I play. They said, yeah, but you're too young. I said, no, man. I said, I'll tell you what. I'll call a few drummers. We come up the next afternoon. You can audition them if you give me a chance to audition. So they said, okay. And I ended up getting the gig. So I ended up playing with the OJs when I was 15 for 2 weeks in Providence. They were there for 2 weeks. I mean, it was like 6 nights a week, too. And my mom said, don't you even think about leaving, going nowhere with these boys.
No.
But
They're grown men at this time. They're grown men.
Yeah. Yeah, they were in their 20s,
Yeah.
but still at 15, My mom
So
was
you'd
like,
only been
ain't-
playing drums for a year?
I've been playing drums for a year, yeah. And I never took lessons. It was just natural. I just sat down and was able to play.
And got a
And
gig
I'm
with
probably
the
doing it
OJs.
all the wrong way, but I was playing.
It was making sense. Yeah.
Yeah, good feel.
Yeah. It was about the feel,
Yeah.
As far as rudiments was concerned, I had to figure that out down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is how you're supposed to play this. But yeah, so I got the gig with the OJs. They asked me to leave with them. I said, couldn't do that. So that's when I got the real taste, when I knew that I could perform with one of the popular groups out today. That's all the inspiration I needed.
And were the
there.
OJs at that time?
Oh, they were the OJs.
Okay.
Yeah. They had hit records. They had hits back then. So, I used to work part-time in a record store, so I knew everybody's records back then. And got that opportunity, and that's all I needed. That's when I knew that's what I wanted to do. My whole career is based off of drugs, it seems like. Because that's how I got into LTD. They came through Providence. I was, I don't know, probably 19, 20 years old then. And no black musicians hardly in Providence when I was growing up. So I was playing with the guys that were going through Berkeley School of Music. And someone said, there's 10 black musicians playing in this club downtown. I said, are you serious? I said, I'm going to see them. They were actually Sam and Dave's band.
LTD was.
LTD was Sam and Dave's band. And they left Sam and Dave and started traveling up the East Coast. And they ended up in the club in Providence. So I went to see him, and the night I went to see him, their drummer got taken to jail for smoking weed. 1969. Weed was a major offense. Major offense. Took his ass to jail. Club owner, can you sit in with these guys? I'm like, I don't know, man. What are they playing? Well, all top 40. I'm like, I know all top 40. So I sat in with him, sang a couple songs. Next day, they asked me to join the group. So first it was heroin, then it was marijuana, then it was weed.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Drugs have been gateway for you.
In a good way, though.
In a good way.
In a good way. Got you the gigs.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I left in 1970, came out to LA, looking for the big dream. And we struggled. We played every nightclub in LA, for admission fee. It was $2 to get in, that's the money we got. And we all lived in a 1-bedroom apartment.
And how many guys were in the group? Because
It
I
was
remember
10. It was
there
10
was
of us.
there used to be I want to say it was an album cover in my house, and it was like a circle,
Oh, yeah.
and it was so many black
It
people
was so many.
and black men, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
And
but
it
this
was-
was on your.
A weird picture on that album cover. Because we all had our shirts off for
Yeah,
some reason.
but
why we got our shirts off? We
I
all skinny
remember
and shit.
that cover.
We,
Like, I remember seeing that
Put
cover.
your shirt on. I know you be
exactly.
standing next to me with your shirt all on. I don't like what this
How,
is insinuating.
how many members were in
it was
LTD?
10 of us.
10 members.
It's 10, yeah. When I joined, it was 10 of us.
And then one of your brothers
My
was in the
brother-
group with you,
my
right?
brother, he joined, yeah. He didn't join when I first joined. He joined down the line, but he was there when we started making our first records. Because it took us, I guess, maybe 2 years, 3 years
Of just going out and
of just
performing.
working, yeah. And then finally, this female vocalist named Mary Clayton, she was popular back then.
Mm-hmm.
She was doing background vocals for like the Rolling Stones, and she was on A&M Records. And they let us come up and do a showcase, and they said, yeah, but we had some original material that was you know, it was kind of like hardcore.
Yeah.
It was controversial. We were talking about everything. And so they liked the band, but they weren't sure about our music. So they asked us to play behind Mary Clayton. So we went up and played behind Mary Clayton at the Monterey Folk Festival. It was huge. It was like 25, 30,000 people out there. And we played, and one of the groups fell out, and they said, we got a 20-minute spot. Y'all want to go ahead and play? And so we went out. We did 20 minutes. Record company saw the crowd react, and that's how we got signed.
So what did y'all play? Y'all just played?
We played just top 40
Top
stuff.
40 stuff,
Yeah.
okay.
We weren't going to play our music because we were a little, you know, we were about the issues. We
Yeah.
were talking about the issues.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of political
Political
Yeah,
issues,
exactly.
what was going
Okay.
on?
So, yeah, we just played some top 40 stuff. They went crazy. And we actually signed through a publishing company of Jerry Butler. We're talking about R&B legend, Jerry Butler. We went through he had a little
His publishing
company
company.
there.
Okay.
Right. And we signed through his production company. We did one record, and then the A&M signed us directly to their label. But it was 3 albums in before we had a hit record. Our first 2 records, nobody even know they out.
Wow.
There was
But you
nothing
guys
out.
were signed, too, for those first 2 records.
Yeah, we were signed.
So they
Back then, they had artist development departments.
Of course.
Which they don't have anymore.
Talk about it.
Right.
Uh-huh.
No,
Artist
So,
development.
Artist
Departments.
Departments, right. And they said, well, we're going to give you a 3-year window. So after the first 2 albums, they said, okay, we're going to start looking for some producers.
For the producers.
Yeah. So that
But you were
third
still,
record,
they were still allowing y'all to write the
they were still
songs?
allowing us to write, yeah. But, you know, our first hit was Love Ballad.
That was your
That was
first hit.
That was our first hit.
I
Come on, talk about it.
have never.
Yeah, and that was our first hit. That was like 1975.
Did you write that record?
Oh, I wish I did. Damn. No, that was Skip Scarborough. Skip Scarborough was
Skip
an
Scarborough,
incredible writer.
absolutely.
Yes.
He wrote a lot
Absolutely.
of stuff for Earth, Wind, and Fire. All the
Amazing.
emotion
Yeah.
stuff.
Amazing.
Don't ask my neighbors. He wrote all that. I mean,
You hear
this
that?
boy.
Don't ask my neighbor.
You hear that?
That's a very. You know what?
What?
Don't ask my neighbors. Stay out my
Stay out my-
business. Okay? This is not your
Right.
business.
Right.
Don't ask my neighbors.
Don't ask my neighbor.
That's the internet now.
Oh, the internet's all your
are-
neighbors. It's all your
That's all
neighbors.
your neighbors.
Skip wrote some big hits. He wrote "You Can't Hide Love" for Earth, Wind, and Fire. He was a great songwriter.
Yeah.
The funny thing about that song is that it was the Mizell brothers, Larry and Fonz Mizell. They were out of D.C. They produced the record.
Okay.
And we were getting ready to do the session that night, and they didn't show up. So we're sitting there, and I'm in there like 7 o'clock. Okay, it's midnight. Producers ain't showed up yet. I'm like, oh, I know there's some shit going on right now. So
So this has been happening since the beginning of the
so
time.
Hey,
we
this is
we
what
had
it
a
is.
little meeting, and we're like, you know what? Let's just leave. Let's just come back tomorrow. But they come in about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and they got this story, and they're like, man, hold hold on, man. Can you just go in and try to sing this song? So by the time we got to that point after the meeting, it was 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I said, you want me to actually go in and sing a song now at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning? Just give it a shot. So I went in, I sang Love Ballad, 1 take, walked out, and that was the take.
Wait. Hold
was
up.
it.
Hold up.
That was it.
Come on, Big Jeff.
That
Come
was
on,
it.
Big Jeff.
I'm telling you.
Top to bottom.
Huh? Top to bottom.
Top to bottom.
One time
take.
down. Yeah.
So when the record you're listening to, the record that your mama's mama,
Right.
your auntie,
We was just singing this record on top of the couches.
Exactly. Yeah, I
on,
hear you.
in the
when you're
doo-wop.
listening to this,
You're listening to one take.
You listen to one take.
no punches.
No punches.
Well, you know, back then there
You
wasn't a whole
couldn't
lot of
punch.
punching
You
going on
couldn't-
anyway.
yeah.
No tune.
They would have to actually literally cut the tape.
Right.
No vocal enhancements.
Right. Yep. One take. Boom.
Love Ballad has no steroids.
It has one track of everything you need,
Everything you need.
and it's got a vamp on it.
It's got a vamp on
Them
it.
boys must have been, somebody was from church. Because that's the only way you get a vamp. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
More than they. Hey,
Cause she
one more time.
Right.
Have is much more than they see. 10 more times. Come on.
10 more
One more time. It just kept rolling. What we have is
much more than they could see. It don't start getting to you to the 17th time.
Right.
Oh, I feel it now. I feel it now. Who you had a vamp on there?
At 3:34 in the morning.
At about 4 o'clock in the morning, we did that.
I'm gonna listen to that record completely different now,
It's crazy.
and I'm going to sing records different now. No, we're not gonna do that too.
Here's
You know what I
something
mean?
I want to say, and it's not about me.
So that means it's obviously about to be about you.
A little bit.
Go ahead.
It's not about me.
No disrespect.
No disrespect. as disrespect ensues. I'm in the studio with Gladys Knight. And
Champagne.
and
He's pouring champagne.
And-
The mics are gonna blow up if you keep pouring champagne on them, man.
I'm in the studio with Gladys Knight and I'm producing this interlude for me, about 2-minute interlude that she's doing for this gospel album she's doing. My guys are helping her do it. And I come in, I do all of the backgrounds, write it, I produced the two and just had it all set up. And so, when Gladys walks in, she's like, okay, let me hear what you got. And I play it, and she's like, oh yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. She said, okay, just play it. And she sat in the back of the studio, and it just played. It played from maybe 5 or 6 times. And then she got up and she said, okay, I'm ready. I was like, okay. So me, I'm a young kid. I'm like, I'm about to produce Gladys Knight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm about to have a hands-on interaction with making sure her vocal turns out the way it's supposed to turn out. It's going to be because of me. Gladys Knight got on that microphone. We started that song at the beginning. She sang from top to bottom for all of 2 minutes. And when it stopped, me and the engineer looked at each other. I said, what you going to tell her? I said, he was like, I don't know. Tell her. That shit was amazing. I said, yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I said, maybe I should just tell her to do it again. Just to say I did something right.
No.
That was amazing. I don't know if you want to do any more. If you got one more in you, I'll do one more take. It's not a problem, baby. Did one more.
Same thing.
And I said, I have to try that. Because there's obviously something in that where artists, where you come from, where singing that record straight down and getting that actual true live performance.
Right.
It's a true live performance because when you stop and take breaks and refresh and get that's not a true live performance because as you see when people go live with those kind of
that's just a recording.
punches, those recorded records or punched in records, they can't execute it the same.
No,
because
it's
it
not
wasn't
the same.
sang live properly to begin with. So when I sang Maybe I Deserve, I said I want to do what Gladys Knight did, and I sang that song from top to bottom. And now every time I sing that song, even at 46, I can execute that song the same way I did when I was 22. Because it's a lot. It's a lost art.
Most of my recordings were one take. Mostly all my recordings were one take.
So you throwing the champagne back on me?
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But the difference is
when it rains, get wet. No. When it rains, get wet.
Get wet.
I mean,
Shout out
that's
to
what
Quincy Jones.
working with George used to call me. Dude, George used to call me one take. Just go in there and do it. Yeah, I'm okay.
George. He's stunned now.
Oh yeah,
He's
you
stunned
see his
now.
hand? You see his hand?
Your
You see his
story was
hand
cute.
now? You see his hand?
Your story was cute.
Yeah. George Duke used to call me one take.
One take.
Yeah.
The difference, though, in one take is that is the real, true feeling you have for the song.
Yep.
Everything after that is you trying to sing like yourself.
Yeah.
You know, once you give that one take, you kind of give it all the emotion, everything you feel in that song. After that, when you keep punching in, it becomes, it's just not the same. It doesn't have that real true energy anymore. Because, now here's the thing about George that I love. I might have sang a word out of tune and he'd say, that's the trash factor. Leave that shit alone. Don't touch it. I'm like, George, it's a little out of tune. Don't touch it. It's the feel.
The trash
You're making
factor.
me. He called it
Trash
trash
factor.
factor. He said, "You making me feel it. I don't care if it's in tune. It has that feel, and that's what you can't produce again. Sometimes when you're punching in,
You're trying to.
Yeah.
perfect-
you're trying to, you're
perfect
trying
it,
to
yeah.
jump
You're
into that
taking the soul
emotion,
out of it.
and
Yeah.
it don't quite have the same feel.
That's the Mary J. Blige effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I mean, as you become, a veteran artist, you learn how to do that better and better. So you can you start getting the knack for punching in, but it still don't have that vibe. I used to do most of the stuff with George. We would have, because it was all live musicians. All that we had a studio full of live musicians, and they would be in, and I would be in the booth while we were doing the tracks,
It would
and I
all
would
happen
be
at the same
singing while
time.
they're doing the
Yeah.
tracks, and we'd keep some of them vocals. So it's just the vibe, It's something about being in the room with the musicians too that just give you that.
When's the last
That's-
time anybody's done that?
So that's what
I don't
with
know nobody doing
LTD. That's how it was too.
But yeah, you guys were a band.
It was a band. So you go in and you sing while they're, A lot of times, I would have to sing after. 'Cause I played drums on a lot of the LTD stuff too.
I'm a drummer as well.
Oh really? Yeah. That makes a difference.
Makes a
It
difference.
makes a difference.
Yeah.
You kind of get inside of yourself.
I can and even when it's like when it comes to like arranging the shows and things like that, like I can
Right.
being a musician, I can hear things and being able to I can articulate things a lot better
Right.
because I understand it from a musician's standpoint, which I think gives us I won't say unfair advantage, it just
Right.
is what it is.
No, it gives you an advantage for sure.
The advantage.
No, it's crazy from the business side of it. I'll have conversations with promoters and buyers in different markets, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we just, we want Tank to sit in with a house band." I'm like, "You do understand this man is a musician.
Right.
He can't just go sit in with anybody.
No, it don't
it's just
work.
not going to happen.
It don't work a lot of times.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like I get it, y'all.
I mean, every now and then you'll be like, okay, but
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
times it's like,
yeah.
and I don't like to have to go and rehearse.
Yeah,
That's
talk
the
about
thing.
it.
Another
Yeah.
band, you got to go sit and rehearse, and it's like before the show. I'm like, nah, that ain't working. So I
Do
like
you
to
still
bring my
sound
own.
check?
Huh?
Do you still sound check?
No, not at all. Every now and then, if I want to add something to the show, I
Mm-hmm.
do. But I don't sound check anymore. I had my background singer. He'll just check the mic. If I'm feeling like I want to, I will. But most times I don't. I take that nap.
Yeah.
Talk about that nap.
Talk about that.
Talk about that pregame nap.
Talk about the.
Hey, that pregame nap is powerful.
Yeah,
It is.
but this
That's
is
a-
also insight. This is also a chance to get to see and hear about the process
Right.
that a lot of people just don't talk about. They don't talk about
Right.
how important rest is.
Yes.
Rest is the most important thing.
You know what I mean? You jumping on these planes, you either are you on this bus all night, whatever
Right.
it is, but you need your rest.
Yep.
Yeah. And people don't realize that the vocal cord is the smallest muscle in the body, and it gets used more than any other muscle. Because you're talking on it all day. You're talking. So you're banging on it all day long. And, the only real, true vocal rest is to shut the hell up. You got to shut up, and that's hard.
That's
to do.
hard.
It's hard.
That's hard to do.
It's hard.
It's hard.
But that's
Especially when you're the
only
life
really
of the
true-
party.
Yeah.
When you are the focal point.
Exactly.
And everybody wants to talk to you.
talk to
Everybody
you.
wants to, and before the show, they want to come backstage. And it's like, damn.
I be trying to say no, but it's like,
He like to turn up.
I like
man.
to turn up.
I'm like, me and him would be on our way to the venue, be like, yeah, man, I don't really want. I'm gonna relax. Next thing you know, somebody bringing ribs somehow. I'm like, bro, you don't even eat ribs. Why? What
It's
are you
potato
doing?
salad.
I'm like, what are you doing? You don't even eat
There's
this. man.
30 people in the room. Got the music.
Show ain't even started yet.
Show ain't started yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got
Yeah.
this hit, Love Ballad.
Right.
And you've been dropping albums and trying to figure it out and find your way. And now you found it. What
Yeah.
changes?
You making
And
more
how-
than $10 a night.
You more than
Yeah.
$10
After
a
Love
Not a
Ballad.
lot more, though, with 10 people in the
I'm about
band.
to say this. Y'all splitting it
Yeah.
10 ways?
Oh, yeah. It was split 10 ways.
Respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
That is
We a group.
the ultimate respect.
That's what happens when you're in a group.
That's right.
Who you
You-
talking to?
I'm talking to people who don't want to split the money evenly. You know,
Right.
possibly a group called TGT. I don't know who was in the group. Tyrese, Genuine, and Tank.
Right.
Split the money evenly.
That's right. It's supposed to be split even.
We have a historian in the
Right.
building.
LTD.
A theologian of this R&B thing that says the money is to be split. You know what?
That's
Like,
right.
did y'all
Douglas.
even ever have a conversation of like, listen, I sing the lead, so no.
No, we were set up all wrong, which is why I ended up leaving the group. I mean, we were set up when we first started. They were asking me to put other people's names on my songs, so we could all get our publishing get their own, get set up in ASCAP and BMI. We all need to be set up, and so like a fool, I was doing that shit back then. So you start learning as you go along.
Yeah.
But we was set up completely wrong. I mean, I admire today's youth because I love the fact that they collaborate with one another.
Mm-hmm.
You see collaborations, which is, they didn't do that back in the day. Old school, you never saw that back in the day. You think about it, look at all the talent that was out there and nobody came together, like you and Genuine and Tyrese, or, they just didn't do it that way. So I got kind of to the point where, okay, I think I'm ready to leave now. It's time for me to kind of move on to the next step.
But we'll get to the solo.
There's a lot involved.
Right? No. I'm sure. But we kind of veered off of when you get that first hit record.
That first hit record, I'll tell you what it did for me. The biggest change was I had been playing and singing at the same time. I had no idea what to do when the record company said, you got a hit record, you got to go stand out front and sing. They can't see you with 4 horn players behind front of you.
Well,
the ladies love this song.
Singing from
singing.
the drums.
I was singing from the
You singing
drums.
Love Ballad from the drums?
No, this was after the record when it came out.
Right.
Yeah, that's when they said you need to get up. But I was singing from the drums, and my brother Billy played drums. So when I sang, he would play some, and then when he sang, I would play. But there were a lot of times where I was singing and playing at the same time. So I didn't really know what to do with my hands. Now I got a hit record, and I'm standing out there, and
You can't be like,
I'm like,
have
never been. But I'm like, okay, well. So they said, you know what, we're gonna get you somebody to kind of take you through being out front, stage presence, how to work an audience. So we got this guy that was the theater director at LA City College, and he came and worked with me. He was incredible, man. He really taught me how to control an audience, bring an audience in. The most important thing he told me was, look, that last person in that last seat, that's who you work to. Forget these people right here. Mm-hmm. They're right in front of you. If you get that person, you got the whole place. So he made me learn how to bring people in, all of this that I didn't know as I was sitting there all closed up like playing drums.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest adjustment for me, was learning how to be out front and learning how to, take command of the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long does it take y'all to get to the next hit?
The next album.
So
we only had one hit off that first album.
One hit off the album.
But radio was different back then, because radio would play everything off your record, whether it was a single or not. You don't do that today. The album came out, they played 4 or 5 songs, so people were hearing other things on the record.
Yeah. But the one that talked to him was Love Ballad.
But Love Ballad. And the next album was Back in Love.
Oh, man.
And
Always
that just,
love.
That's a whole story.
Always love.
You said that's a what now?
That's a story in itself, Back in Love, because back then it was different. With record companies, they had R&B departments and they had pop departments, and they didn't want to work our records pop.
Right, and that's
they
a
wanted
tempo
to work
record.
at R&B, and I'm like, well, you're not gonna work this record. I mean, it's starting to move up the charts pretty good, and the next thing you know, it crossed over on its own. Today it's totally different, but it had actually crossed over on its own, so they didn't want to take credit for it. You ain't did a damn thing.
Yeah.
You ain't worked this record pop at all.
Yeah.
But then it started becoming a major hit, and pop department started taking a little interest in us then.
Yeah. That record is
Different world back then, huh?
That's an all-timer as well. Like, y'all was just coming back to back, like the Back in Love record, like, because now
Right.
you go from Love Ballad to a slow jam, Now you got the tempo records, y'all.
Right.
Y'all in the barbecues, the backyard, the club, y'all
Right.
everywhere now. Was there a huge difference in having a love ballad to Back in Love, as far as just from a performance sense, from where y'all were taking it? Because I'm obviously, because the other thing that they have now is they have like hosting gigs and club appearances. Y'all wouldn't, but y'all didn't have that. Y'all just did y'all show.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't get paid to go to the club after.
And just show up
No.
and have a
Well, what we
beverage.
did, oh, you mean the after shows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there was always after shows. That was the promoter's thing. There's always an after party. Yeah.
That he paid you guys to come to.
No, he didn't pay us to come to. We didn't get paid to go to the after show back then.
No, that's
We
what I'm
just
saying.
showed
Now
up.
you get paid to go.
Oh,
to
now,
that.
now you get paid, right?
Yeah.
If there's going to be an after show, you're going to get paid.
But
But yeah, back then it was all about hanging out with the promoters, trying to get in good so they keep booking you, and we had the big tours back then because it was LTD, Commodores. That was one of the major tours. We did like maybe 3 tours with the
Together.
Commodores. That was huge. LTD Commodores. And then, we did the OJs, and back then it was Confunction and
Function.
I mean-
Felton Pilot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. You know, I'm a
how
Bay
many
Area kid.
how many cities would you guys do in one tour?
Man, they killed us back then. I swear. We did, in 79, we did the Jackson tour. We opened up for the Jacksons. That's when Michael had Off the Wall, and he would come out and do the Jackson show. And then they would leave, and he would come out and do the whole Off the Wall album. It was crazy. This was
crazy.
This was crazy.
I know that was crazy.
I mean, and we were doing 13 nights in a row
Golly.
What?
until Michael said, I can't do this no more. He's like, so we started canceling dates. Yeah.
13,
yeah, we
14.
would-
So
yeah.
2 weeks straight.
2 weeks straight.
We performing tonight.
That was a big show. Everybody, I mean, we was doing the big places. That's when I knew that I might have had a few hits, but this is a real superstar here. This dude,
This is
Michael
different.
Jackson.
This is different.
I seen things that I was like, I mean, because we had a bus tour, so we traveled together. We had a bus, L.T.D, and the Jacksons, they had a bus, and dude has to come out in disguises every day. He couldn't even walk out. He had to be completely disguised every day. And they would pull up to the stage, get out, do the show, finish the show, get back in the limo right there of the big Coliseums and drive out. And people would jump on top of the car as they were driving up the ramp
That's crazy.
to get to this dude.
I
Risking
believe
it all.
I believe it.
Life
I'm
and
telling
limb.
you, man, I've never seen anything like it. They threw a kid through the window at a Holiday Inn in Baltimore to get to him.
What you mean?
Wait, to get to
to
him?
get to him.
Like, we gonna
because-
heave you through.
Well, we did finish the show.
I don't
and
need
they
them
all
kind of friends.
came over. They knew we were at the hotel, Baltimore. This fool comes out of his room, it's like 2-story Holiday Inn, and walks around, and they see him. They pick up a kid, throw him through the window, and all rush through to get to Michael Jackson.
They use a boy as a Molotov cocktail.
I'm like, this is a star.
That's
This is a whole nother level.
that's a different level.
yeah.
I don't think we'll ever see again.
no, we won't.
Ever
no.
Not that.
in life.
Not that.
Yeah, he was phenomenal.
Not that. That's amazing. And so is that in a sense what took y'all there? A record like Back in Love?
Yeah, it was.
Because
I
you
mean,
had that-
we
now
had
you got
had a
that
string
tempo,
of hits
and now
by
you-
then. We had Love Ballad, and then we had a lot of ballads that were big back then. Like We Both Deserve Each Other's
Yeah.
Love, Concentrate on You, all these songs. Holding On was big. So we started piling up some of the hits. Then we were rolling. And LTD was a great live band. I got to tell you, them 4-horn players was doing steps out there and shit,
Yeah.
twirling them horns.
Yeah.
We put the pressure on everybody
Yeah.
back then. So it was a great live group. Yeah. It was exciting live.
Was seeing Michael, coming out there do his thing by himself, was that an inspiration to you?
That was, what's more inspiration is that he used to come to my dressing room and ask me what I did to keep my voice in shape. Because he would be running out of gas. But anybody dancing around like that and singing, I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, you gonna
Michael
run out of
Jackson
gas.
would come to your dressing room and knock on your
yeah.
door.
And exactly. And ask
Say,
me.
Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Would he say it? Would he say Jeffrey, or would he say Jeffrey? I need to ask you a couple questions. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody has a discrepancy about how they feel Michael really talked. Some people think Michael was playing.
He didn't have that bass.
Or what was it? Mid-tone there. Jeffrey, man, my voice keep going out and shit, man. Tell me what I got to do, dog.
What do you do? What do you do, man?
It was really there. It was really there in that space.
Because
It
that
was
is
in that
also
space.
a form of vocal rest,
Oh yeah.
which people don't know.
Yeah.
That the Jacksons have mastered. They speak low.
Yeah.
Speak low. And it's not like they don't project heavy. They not doing what these
What
two
I
fools
always
right
do.
here.
I'm
Yo,
horrible.
these,
Totally
these,
I'm
these
horrible.
guys.
Well, look, man, vocal therapy is singing as soft as you can. It's not about these opera singers that have vocal therapy. They go in and they're singing no and just trying to open up this and keep the airstream and contract as long as you can. Just hold the note. It's not singing with any force at all. It's all as soft as you can, controlling the airstream.
Yeah.
And some of the exercises that they do is like, they take that glass and fill it up half with water, and take a straw, and you blow in that straw, and it's like, and you control the bubbles. If the bubbles come over the top of the glass, you ain't doing the shit right. So you got to keep the bubbles inside the glass, and it's all about controlling the airstream. And it's as soft as you can. It's not, cause, I had COVID about 4 months ago, and I'm like, damn, and that it messed me up as far as my respiratory was. So I talked to my throat doctor. He said, just go to this vocal therapist. And I'm like, I don't want to do no vocal. So I went, and the whole thing she had me doing was as soft as you can sing. It's all real easy.
I need that number.
Huh?
I need to go to a vocal therapist.
I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Those are basically the simple things she was doing. They call this backward kazoo thing, where they have you shape your mouth so that your cheeks are in, and you're not supposed to puff them, and it's just controlling the airstream real soft, and you go up the scale. And it's like 20 minutes. A few hours later, another 20 minutes. Get that glass with that straw, boom. And it's amazing. It really does open you up.
I'm doing
but
it
it's
all wrong.
totally the opposite than I thought. I thought she was gonna have me trying to bang at the top of my range
Right.
and everything.
Yeah,
She's like,
right.
oh no, it ain't about that.
So do you do these daily now?
I do now. I do it now, yeah. Because I still haven't recovered from COVID. I mean, my natural voice is fine, but it took away my falsetto. Mm-hmm. And so I'm still struggling to get into my falsetto. Wow. But these are the exercises that they gave me, which are vocal therapy. I was blown away. I'm thinking vocal therapy is going to be some strenuous stuff here. Total opposite.
What was the advice you gave Michael?
Michael, steaming. He was asking me, and I said, well, you should steam a little bit, because steaming is like, to me, the most important thing is vocal hygiene. And steaming is one. It lubricates the cord. It takes any kind of swelling down off the cord. Mm-hmm. So
is that with like a
you
like
can
a
get
mint or eucalyptus or something like that, or just the steamer
portable
itself?
steamer. Well, eucalyptus is, you're talking to an old guy in here. Eucalyptus is kind of a myth, because it's a mentholated kind of thing, and what it does is it opens you up right away, and then it tightens your cord. So anything like eucalyptus or mint, anything is not good to really steam with.
I've been doing that wrong too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just straight water.
Just straight water.
Boiling it up,
just
letting it
water.
steam.
And I carry a portable steamer. There's several different kinds you can get, but it's the steam. I steam after a show and sometimes before a show, because the moisture helps on the cord, and it does take the swelling down. So I do a lot of little crazy things like that. I steam. I gargle with the nastiest shit in the world. Golden seal root powder. It's like gargling with dirt, because it's a root powder, but it's incredible what it does for you.
Golden seal
root powder. So I'll steam, and then I'll gargle, and then I shut up and go to sleep.
Yeah, you giving out
And then-
real gems.
And I'll tell you, a really good sea salt is good. If you get a sea salt that has all the trace minerals in it, and gargle with that, warm water, that really helps too. That soothes, really does.
Golden.
Golden seal
about-
root,
you
but you
about-
need
you
to get
about
the
to-
root.
You about to
'cause
help these kids get rid of auto-tune.
It's
Get you some golden
Golden
root.
seal. What kind of root?
root powder.
Root powder.
It comes in a capsule. It used to come in bulk, but now it's always in a capsule. And you just open the capsule up, pour it in a cup, put some warm water in, and it's nasty though. I mean, it tastes like dirt. And it doesn't bother me. Some people don't like the taste of stuff like that, but I've been vegan for 6 years,
it's
7
money-
years,
it's
so
money in the
I
dirt.
can eat anything.
It's money in the dirt.
It's money in the dirt.
Money in the
That's
dirt.
what-
Right.
Listen, it tastes like there was money in the dirt.
Yeah.
Oh, you vegan now too?
Yeah, I just started eating fish in the last 4 months, but I've been vegan for almost 7 years. I went straight vegan.
Do you feel like that helped you at all as far as your, from your vocal ability or?
I think it just
Or
helped
just more
me.
so health?
I just for overall health, yeah. I felt a lot more efficient. I just felt efficient after going vegan, and it made it easy because my whole family went at the same time. My wife, my son, we all did it at the same time. But it was one of the best things I've done. So now I'm basically still vegan, but I'll eat some fish now. I went to a trainer who told me, you need some fatty acids. Get some of them omega fatty acids in you.
Yeah.
It was funny. I'm like, well, there's bodybuilders that are vegan. He said, yeah, but you know what they're doing? I said, what? He said, they're taking animal protein. That ain't no whey. That they're using whey protein. They're not using vegan protein. I was like, really? He said, you ain't building all that muscle with no.
No, you need some additives and
Natural,
preservatives.
yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have some.
I know that game well.
You gotta have it. Yeah. So LTD, y'all on tour, y'all doing y'all thing with the Jacksons, y'all
That's
one of the
crazy,
biggest
too.
groups in the world.
Right.
What happens?
What happened? What with?
That makes you just like, you know what?
Enough is enough.
Enough. Did you
Well,
ever, did you ever want to go solo?
That was the last tour that I did, and I wasn't supposed to do that tour. I had actually let them know 2 years in front of that I was ready to leave the group.
2 years?
2 years. I did an album and another tour after I had told them I wanted to leave.
Oh, so you didn't pull a Flash in the 5 Heartbeats?
No, I didn't
at
just
the
run off.
award show.
I didn't.
Yeah, it's lonely at the top. It come out next week.
No,
no, you didn't do it.
I kind of let them know that I was ready to leave. It just, like I said, it wasn't set up right. So I was getting offers from record company to do a solo record, and they squashed that. 'Cause I had
The other group members squashed it,
yeah,
or?
I had a songwriters agreement that I signed with the group, like stupid shit you do when you're young, and so they wouldn't let me out of the songwriters agreement, and they stopped me from doing the solo record. So and then they didn't want me to write for other people, because I was starting to write for people. People were like asking me to write, and they were like, "No, you can't do that. You got a songwriters agreement with us." So I'm like, "This is too confining. I gotta go."
That would have
So-
made them money, right? That would have made everybody more money since you were signed to this agreement if you wrote for other people too.
Was it an
though,
agreement
no?
Yeah.
where they make money from it, or was it just an agreement just you had the right for the group?
It was agreement with the group, within the group, that I had to write all the stuff I wrote was before the group, the songwriters agreement, and I was tied to it.
Okay.
So, at that point, I'm like, well, you know what, I can't deal with this anymore. So it's time for me to get out of here. So I left, but it took almost 2 years before I actually left, after I gave them the notice that I was going to leave. So that whole 79 tour in 1979, that was the last tour I did, and it was worth holding on for that one. That was incredible to see that tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good dismount.
Yeah. LTD and the Jacksons?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was crazy,
I would
man.
have stayed for the next 2 years too.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I would have stayed for the next 2 years. So did you stay at A&M?
I did. I signed with A&M. It took me, I left the group in 80. My first record came out in 82. That's how long the mess was. It took me till 82.
Oh, so it
for my
wasn't a
first
clean
record.
break.
It was a clean break, but they tied me up as far as being able to sign the agreement with A&M. So for a year, I couldn't sign because I was still tied to this songwriters agreement. And
So
I
what are
was
you
signed.
doing during this time? In limbo. This is your time in limbo. What are you doing? Because you're not performing with them either.
I was broke as hell. That's what I was doing.
Oh, wow.
I was
Yeah.
just trying to make it, I just basically started reaching out to people who I thought I would like to work with for my project, because I knew the project was going to happen, you know. So I started reaching out to different songwriters, and I started sitting with different songwriters, and it was time to find a producer.
And are you in LA at this time?
I'm in LA. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's when I went through a couple of people before I decided to go with George Duke. And so George was the first producer that I worked with that as a solo artist. And I did my first 3 albums with George. George was incredible.
Yeah.
I learned so much from George, it was ridiculous. He was probably one of the most beautiful people I ever met. Dude got perfect pitch. Dude is just, you know, he's ridiculous. The guy was
It's a gift.
virtuoso pianist.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he could sing, produce, and I learned so much from him. He was the first producer that actually gave me criticism, not criticism, but constructive criticism, and said, maybe you should do this here. First producer ever. Everybody else, I just went in and sang. They were like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, everything's good. Oh, it's good. George was like, well, maybe right here you should try this. I was like, oh, shit, a producer.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So I learned a lot with George. I mean, he was just phenomenal. Guy could walk into a string session. We used to do string sessions back there with 35, 40 strings, and he would tell the second chair, 3 strings out of tune. I'm like, how are you hearing this with all these strings? I mean, this is how incredible his ear was. So he was probably the perfect person for me to team up with as a solo artist. I still do tribute to him every night on my shows.
It's amazing.
Every night, I let people know how important he was to my career. And I talk during the show. And then I do a George Duke song. I do Reach For It.
Every night.
I do Reach For It in the show.
Yeah.
But I do a tribute to George every night. That's how much he
Nah,
meant
that's
to me.
really cool.
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, once you go on your own, are there like reach outs? Are there like guys from the band like, see you doing your thing, man? Yeah, you know, I respect it, or you better not come around here no more, man. We're gonna fuck you up.
We pulling up to Detroit.
Yeah, it was difficult. That year was tough, but you know, I was fortunate that I had George as a producer, and my first album went huge. You know, Really Don't Need No Light was my first single, but On the Wings of Love was the second single, and that kind of took me over the top with Wings. So I feel like I've had 2 career songs, Love Ballad and On the Wings of Love as a solo career, kind of like, because nobody knew my name when I was with LTD.
Got
It was just LTD. My name was never out front of LTD.
Okay.
But people knew my voice.
Right.
So the most important thing with my first album was to associate the name with the voice. So that's why I just titled the album Jeffery Osborne. And that way people had to say, this is On the Wings of Love by Jeffery Osborne from the album Jeffery Osborne. So they had to keep
saying the
dropping
name.
saying
Keep saying the
which
name.
kind, yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's why
people
we
knew
yell,
my voice.
That's why we
though.
yell R&B money all the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
They knew my voice though, you know.
Oh, you know your voice.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was, you know. But that back then there was a lot of, right around that time there was a lot of people leaving. That's when Lionel left the Commodores. That's when Michael left the Jacksons. That 79 tour was probably the last tour he did too, with the Jacksons.
Oh wow.
And then he, you know,
He went crazy.
Went out on his own.
yeah, a lot of people ventured off. Some people ended up going back, but you know, but it's tough when you have a group that big. That's a lot. I mean, $1 million is nothing for 10 people. If you think about it, it's split 10 ways.
Yeah, you gonna run through
I wonder how Earth, Wind, and Fire was set up.
They were set up probably as a group when they started, and then it came down to Maurice and Philip, and now they have the guy that used to be the drummer with them. What's his name? Ralph. Ralph was a drummer with them, and now he's one of the core people. I think it's 3 of them. I think it's Philip now, and Ralph, and Verdine. Verdine, yeah. Everybody else is basically
No, because it's just tough to carry that. As,
no,
like you
it's
said,
it's
as
impossible almost.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the road is a beast. I mean, right now I'm doing shows and I'm traveling with. I got 10 people that I'm traveling with, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, especially now after COVID and the airline tickets have doubled from last year.
Yeah.
So when you're flying that many people and putting them in hotels and paying per diems, it's a beast.
It get tricky.
Yeah, it's a
It
beast.
gets
It get tricky. Yeah.
You got to get that after party.
Yeah, you gotta get that after party.
You got to get that after
Yeah,
party.
that's right.
Jeffrey Osborne will also be here at Sensations right after the show.
Fly
Right.
on over.
Hey,
Extra
all drinks are
$100
free.
You can get.
All drinks, lap dances are $20 tonight.
If you can woo, woo, woo.
If you can woo, woo, woo. Jeffrey Osborne here at Sensations.
So when you get when you get a record that big, like On the Wings of Love,
Yeah.
and was this the record that truly crossed you over? Because that record is at the core it's an R&B record, but it's
Right.
just
It's an
it has a different feeling to
It's,
it.
it's a pop record.
So it turns pop.
It's a pop record.
You know what
I mean, I can tell when I do concerts, you know, if I'm at a concert that is a corporate thing with 80% white people, it's On the Wings of Love.
Yeah, cue it up. Cue it up. We singing that.
The
You know when
other,
it
the
come
other
on,
side
what's
is
your-
Love Ballad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah.
But I mean, people do appreciate it. You know, the R&B audience appreciate it. But it's kind of more of a pop song than than an R&B song. And I think back then we kind of tried to, configure our records so that they were like that. You know,
Yeah.
I know with
What
George,
movie-
we were like,
was that
let's
in
do
a-
a pop single, a pop ballad, and let's do an R&B ballad.
Right,
And
right.
You know.
Was that record in a movie?
No, it wasn't. It was up for a movie, and then it got
I
canceled
felt like
at
it was
the last
it was
minute.
in a movie.
They
That
it was up for a gentleman and that was the name of the gentleman and a soldier or something,
okay.
and it was up for the movie, and then they ended up using just lift us up where we belong.
Yeah.
They used that instead. I
Okay.
was like, damn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great record too. though.
Eagles fly.
Uh-huh.
But did you write that record?
Yeah, I wrote On the Wings of Love.
You wrote On the Wings of Love?
Yeah,
Yeah. That was exciting.
yeah.
What was that record about? Was it like a personal thing to that record, or were you just writing?
I was kind of just writing, and I was reading this poet, Cahill Gibran, and there was a poem he had in there, and it was talking about what love would look like in flight. I was like, oh shit, love in flight. That's on the wings of love. Okay, that's what I started. I wrote 3 sets of lyrics before I ended up with On the Wings of Love. I do that a lot. I write, and if it don't sing well, this ain't working. Write another set of lyrics. So that was like the 3rd set.
On the Wings
Wings of
of Love.
Love in
Right.
Flight.
Yeah.
What does Love in Flight feel like? What does it look like? Yeah.
I'm gonna tell my wife, you better be glad I let you fly on these wings of love. You would be grounded if it wasn't for these wings of love. You would be on your feet
I don't think that's gonna work out
instead
well
of
for you.
in the air with me.
I don't think that's gonna work out well.
You want to take flight?
Yeah.
Act right.
Yeah.
Hey.
Ask a man who's been married for
40 years.
decades. You think that's gonna work?
Well,
He said, well,
I don't know. I guess it depends on how you say it. Too.
see?
How you say
How
it.
you say it?
You gotta say it nicely.
Yeah.
No.
You can't get gangster with it.
She gotta know who. She gotta.
How do you be married for 40 years in R&B?
Ooh.
Oh, I'll tell you.
There you go. That's a great question.
40 years
I need your
is a
help.
long time.
I need your help.
I mean, well, you got to be friends first.
Yeah.
For sure.
You got to be friends first, or it don't work. But we go through your trials and your tribulations, your ups and downs, and then at some point you realize that, how many times you want to start over again? It's like, it's too much work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, So when you find someone that you really have that bond, and you just kind of work through everything. And I had been through a divorce and splitting a family, and I don't want to go through that again. And, you know, I love my wife. I love my kids. I got great kids. So
I know your
it was
kids. You got great kids.
It's easy, you know.
40 years. And you were married before that, right?
Yeah.
And how long was that?
That was about 10 years. I'd say I was married for 5 years. I hung on for the other 5, you know.
But
It wasn't really-
technically, you've been married 50 years of your life.
Exactly. I'm 74.
Lord
So
Jesus. Ooh,
exactly.
Well, you've been locked away for a minute.
You know what? I'm gonna have me a
You
sip.
gonna have a
Yeah,
drink?
man, have me a beverage too. 'Cause
Shit, I'm gonna have one too.
Have me a sip off of that 50
yeah,
years.
listen, because every time me and my wife anniversary come up, I look at her, she look at me I'm like, you good?
How long you been married?
You want to do one more?
You want to do one more.
We 4 years in now.
Okay.
But, you know,
That's new love.
we definitely got to, we've known each other for 22 years, though.
Oh, okay.
So we kind of, you know, been off and on, and you know,
Right.
we got a 14-year-old baby. You know, we got the baby in before the marriage. We had both our kids before the marriage, actually.
Yeah, they was both at the wedding.
Yeah, they was both at the wedding. Yeah,
Both
yeah.
kids at the
That's how she got the job. She had my son. She had my son on my birthday. I said, you know what?
You different.
You different. You made it. But it's like you said, like it's a choice you have to make every day. You have to wake up and make that choice. You know what? It's you, and we're gonna rock out. And for let's give me the proper 40 years. That is amazing, brother. Absolutely amazing. So I can do it.
Oh yeah, you can do it.
40 years. How am I? 40.
It's work. It takes work on both sides.
I can't do it.
I think I can do it. I'm gonna try to do it.
I think I can.
So I know we talked about, like, you know, you go from LTD, you go to your solo career, and you had talked about being in this writing commitment where you couldn't write for other people.
Right.
As once you're out of that and you're into your solo career and out of this, you know, commitment to this one thing, are you now able to flourish as a songwriter with other artists and all of that?
Yeah, I was able to write songs for other artists, you know. And I wrote a couple songs for other artists. Not a lot, but just the fact that I had the opportunity to do it, you know, was nice. And I wrote one song for Whitney Houston that I ain't mad at that one. That one did pretty well on her first album
you wrote a
called
Whitney
All
Houston
at
record?
Once.
Wait, you wrote all at once?
Yeah, I wrote All at Once.
You
That's
did
incredible.
not write all at once.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I did.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
You wrote all at once?
Yeah.
And this is her first. Yeah, that's her first
Yeah.
album.
That was her first
Yeah.
album. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So when you're right,
That
okay.
was
So when
Michael
you,
Masser. I wrote it with Michael Masser. Michael Masser wrote some serious #1 hits.
so was that a phone call? Like, oh, they got this new artist, or was
No,
like, how did that go?
No, that was a publishing kind of a thing where I was signed to A&M Publishing Company, and I met Michael Masser, and he had been writing all these incredible songs, you know. Do you know where you're going to? Mahogany, he wrote all the other, like, this dude could write. So I sat with him and I wrote a couple of songs with him. And I recorded it, and I didn't use it.
Oh,
I recorded it. I
wasn't
used
as a placement.
I
wasn't-
had to decide between All at Once and We're Going All the Way. And me and George are sitting there, and I'm like, I kind of like We're Going All the Way better. George.
Yeah.
So we ended up using We're Going All the Way, and Michael called me right away. I'm producing Whitney. I want this song. I want this song. I'm like, who's Whitney?
Right.
all right.
I'm like, who's Whitney? Oh, she's incredible. I'm like, well, go ahead, use it. But that's how she ended up getting it, because Michael Masser produced that album. He wrote all that, Saving All My Love for You and all that. Michael Masser wrote all that shit. He was an incredible writer.
He's
Yeah.
And yours just happened to be one of the records that he just was like, you know what, this
Yeah.
fits.
Well, because he wrote it. So he
Yeah,
was like, we
it's
wrote it
definitely
down.
gonna fit.
I'm gonna put this on.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this ride.
That is dope.
Wow.
That is dope. Because I mean, of course, me and Jay, you know, we're writers and producers for some of everybody, and I was kind of forced into it because I wanted to keep all my music for myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would share it with, I guess, people who I would deem worthy of these lyrics and melodies and beats. But you know, when I got set on the bench, you know, and the label wasn't paying me no attention for 5 years, I had to figure out how to eat.
Yeah.
And that ended up being my saving grace. But a different kind of gift in disguise that I'd never anticipated that would sustain me way differently than being an artist.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because that artist up and down thing is real.
It's crazy.
Everybody think they're gonna be hot forever,
You're not.
and you are not.
Not. I don't care who you are.
Everyone
You
cools
are
off.
not, right.
Them fees will change.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? One day you getting a nice, you getting that 5,000, then you getting that 50,
Right.
and then you back to 3.
And then you make it 3.
Well, our music changes so much,
Mm-hmm.
for our culture, It's, R&B's in, next thing you know, hip hop is in, next thing you know, this is in. And so, you go through these stages where it's not like rock. Rock is just rock all the time.
It's just rock
All
all
the
the
time.
time.
These
Country,
guys are like 80 years old filling up stadiums.
Right.
country music, same way.
Same way, right.
Yeah.
And it was sad because, we've had so many legends that end up not being able to even sell tickets, not being able to, it's like unbelievable. When you think about it,
What is that?
It's because we're always into the next new shit. We don't really sit back and support the legends, the people that have done it for so long. And it's been like that forever,
Unless we change it.
When
That's
I was
true. Unless
coming
we
up,
start,
it was the same way. I mean, my family was into jazz, so I was into Sarah Vaughan and Billy Eckstine and Joe Williams and Nancy Wilson and all these people. And then when my time came, L.T.D, they were phasing them out. Just like they just phased them out. I'm like, what the hell?
How do we phase that out?
How do you do that? That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
I mean, it's like there's not even any big band music anymore. Big band was like shit.
Oh, Big Man was serious.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it just whack, no more big band. So we kind of, we jump onto the next new thing a lot
Yeah.
Yeah.
and not stick with,
I think our culture also struggles with what we deem cool.
That's what yeah, exactly.
Because
Exactly.
we are the cool.
Yeah.
Our
exactly.
culture. That's just it's
Yeah.
we're the salt of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what happens is we don't realize that what came before us was also cool and it's still cool.
Right.
And we try to get away from it. I even see people that are older feeling weird about liking things that came along during their time. Like, oh, that's like, wait, hold on. You grew up on that too, though.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, but this. It's like, why can't you like both?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when my kids are in the car with me, they're going to hear Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to hear Stevie Wonder. They're going to hear James Brown.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't even my generation.
Yeah.
That was
exactly.
my parents playing those records for
Well,
me.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm still going to make sure, like we talk about that on the podcast, like, it's important you play your kids good music.
It
Yep.
is, without a doubt. Yeah.
You want your kids to have some taste.
Yep.
'Cause I've definitely met some people who don't got no taste.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, you don't know? Oh, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll go down records and we'll go down music and it'll surprise you sometimes.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
It's got to be a code, right? And there got to be people willing to hold the line. You know what I mean? And everything doesn't have to be. I mean, I get it. Things do progress,
Of course.
and we want to appreciate the progression and how it's being sang now, or how it's being written now, or being produced now.
Yeah.
But you cannot forget where it comes from.
You can't. Well,
No.
You cannot forget the
No.
building blocks. You cannot forget to appreciate why we even have this opportunity, why it's even been able to evolve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It starts somewhere.
It starts, and we've all been drawing from it from the beginning.
From the beginning.
I mean,
Yeah.
all of this music today is still incorporating everything that was before it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Of course.
So yeah, it's important that these kids at least learn about what was there before them.
Yeah.
But- and that's the
'cause we're
importance of
running
our
out of
platform.
musicians. To me, it seems like
Yes.
you don't see as many live musicians. You don't see as many. It's crazy.
It's crazy because you know what? Sometimes you have promoters that don't see the value in it,
No.
who don't know the difference between a crowd reacting to a live show or a track show.
Track
Right.
show. Yeah.
They don't know the difference.
Yeah. No.
You know
Have
what
you
I
ever
mean?
even done a track show? Do you even do
Yeah,
that?
I've done a
You
few.
do 'em?
I got a track show coming up somewhere in December, but
It feels different though.
it's so different.
Yeah.
Because it's just constricting and confining. I can't break shit down. I can't, it's like, it is what it is. Because I'm so used to being with a band all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But every now and then, it's usually it's a private function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
That, yeah, that makes a little more sense. Yeah.
Private. It's a small group of people. They don't want to pay enough for the band. They want me to do it. I'm like, okay, well, you get some tracks.
Yeah.
You gonna get these.
Yeah.
You
gonna get some
these
tracks.
You're going to get these tracks.
You gonna get these tracks.
I appreciate when artists reach back. I appreciate it. I mean, and that's really what our platform is about. And you know,
Right.
just we're gonna reach forward and backwards on the R&B Money podcast. But looking at artists like a Beyonce, who
Right.
would do a Frankie Beverly record over,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and
Etta
include
James.
them, and then also do the record now with
Isley
the Isley Brothers.
Yeah.
You know, and that we need that.
Yeah.
In
Absolutely.
R&B music, this is
Absolutely.
something that just never has truly existed. I feel like we as a genre have this thing where we just kind of send our legends out to pasture,
Yeah, exactly.
and that's
Exactly.
crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier. The difference between R&B and rock. Rock music, these guys are
They'll still tour
heralded.
together. They'll
Oh, they
do
still out
everything.
there
Yeah.
getting big money too.
Yeah,
Big money to do it.
Yeah.
Stadiums, arenas, still cracking.
yeah, exactly.
And the fan is still engaged
Yes.
completely.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
fan has not abandoned.
Yeah. But that's also them putting their kids onto it. Mm-hmm. Because you'll go and you'll see generations.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing, like
Yeah.
just like you were saying that with your shows too, is you're starting to see younger kids there
Right.
as well. Like our good friends Boys to Men. When we go to their concerts, you'll see great
Oh my God,
grandparents,
yeah.
Right.
grandparents,
Yeah.
mothers, fathers, nieces, nephews, and it's like that's what it's supposed to be.
yeah.
But that's also a testament to the music and the
Oh,
music you make.
that's a huge testament
And,
to the music.
These timeless records.
Timeless.
I mean,
These timeless
look,
records.
hey, Face, man, that dude wrote
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Face.
yeah,
That's just ridiculous. The songs, his catalog is ridiculous. When you think that almost all of their Boys to Men songs are Face, Babyface.
And Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. They had the
Jimmy,
best
right.
of the best.
It was out of
Yeah,
control.
huh?
Yeah, they had the best of the
Exactly.
best.
To
They
dial up hit records.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like
Dial up. It's not
Nothing.
not an accident.
Right.
Here's a hit.
I'm still waiting for my
You're welcome.
Babyface song. I'm still waiting for my Babyface song.
Wow, you heard that live right here on the R&B Money podcast.
He looking for you, Kenny.
Jeffrey Osborne said, "Listen here, Mr. Babyface.
That's right.
Okay, I'm still
Waiting.
Oh my God, and he in shape.
And he in shape.
He brought the smoke with him. Ooh, that would be amazing. That's something.
And we need that.
We need that.
We need that.
Yep.
So I mean, and that's the other thing, because I think what happens is we get to a point too where some of the artists, because I've had conversations with the newer artists and even some established artists where they're just like, man, I don't know how I can even get to them. I don't think they would do the record with me. Or I don't.
Well,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, are you
Are
you up
wonder
for
about
that?
I'm up. I'll definitely be up for that.
for like the newer artists? For
I mean, I'm just impressed at the fact that like look at Tank. I mean, look with the artists he's worked with. Drake and T.I. and all these people, and I'd love to have a Drake. I'd love to have some. Yeah, I would.
what's his
Without
daddy
a
name?
doubt.
Dennis.
Come on, man.
Hey Dennis.
Come on, man.
Hit your playing partner
That's
Jefferey.
right. Give me
And
one
get
of
your
them
son.
songs.
Love
and get your son
Ballad,
on
Love
the record.
Ballad remix. Update that thing. Then put Drake on it. Dude, come on, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Yeah, we need it.
Wow.
We needed it. We need it
Well, listen, I
for
mean,
the culture.
our whole platform is dedicated to that, to bridging the gap. And,
That's beautiful.
And making
Yeah.
sure that there's understanding and that there's information.
Yeah, Drake gonna see it.
Yeah,
Drake gonna see it. Boy Wonder.
Yeah, that there's information, man. And so, You know, that's the key. You know what I mean? Like we can't keep this information to ourselves. We can't. We have to distribute it and give our up and coming, our young kids the opportunity.
Yeah. Let us all be little Michael Jackson knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Hey man.
Because the information you gave today, even just of preserving your instrument,
Right.
like this is so important. Like there's nowhere else that they get this type of information from.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I took notes. I think I know.
Yeah, Tank was
what
literally
I'm
over there
doing,
taking notes.
But I'm finna go get me some root,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna gargle the dirt,
Yeah.
and get my vocal right.
There you
And
go.
go see
Right.
a vocal therapist, whoever that is.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
We gotta take this thing serious.
I didn't even know it existed.
Oh, vocal therapy, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that it even existed. I knew there was vocal coaching, but I
Right.
didn't know there was vocal
Oh,
therapy.
there's vocal therapy, yeah. And I'll tell you what, Keck Medical, which is USC's medical center, they have a good staff of vocal therapists there.
Wow.
I'm sure UCLA probably does too. You know,
Yeah.
the medical center.
Yeah.
This all
Because
down.
I also feel like since music we talked about this before we started recording about just the freedom of anybody can do it, you can jump in it from any, you don't need any formal anything.
Right.
I think a lot of stuff gets lost. We don't always take this as our occupation, as our job. I don't know people that are putting in 8 hours a day.
Right.
You may have some,
Yeah.
but hanging out at the studio is not putting in 8 hours a day.
No.
You know what I mean? And that becomes a thing now where it's just like, well, I was at the studio. Well, what were you doing there?
Yeah.
Did you write a song? Did you write 2 songs?
Right.
Make a beat.
Did you sing one take?
You
know what I mean? Like,
you definitely didn't do that.
Are you really building up your career and preparing yourself to be successful and lasting?
Yeah.
You got to
Because
put in the work.
You got to
Yeah.
put in. You have
You
to
gotta
literally
put
put
in
in
the
the
work.
work. And these are things like if you're going to be a singer, get rest, take care of your voice.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Work out.
Don't be around all that
That's it.
smoke. I know all y'all want to
Telling
smoke
you.
weed 100,
Yeah.
all day and all night, but that's taken away
Can't
from your
do it.
voice.
Yeah, it is. Dries you out. Dry your throat out immediately. I can't even like drink wine if I'm on to sing. If I, and I love wine, but if I have a show to do, I'll stay off. I won't drink a glass of wine. If my show is Thursday night, Monday night, might have a glass of wine and that's it. And then after I'll have a glass of wine, but wine dries my throat out. Now, I'm sure it may not react that other people may not have that reaction, but it dries my throat out. And I can, that's a noticeable difference if I stay away from it,
And you want to be at your best.
You want to be, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When they see you,
You know.
when they pay for them tickets,
Yeah,
you want
Yeah.
to give them what they pay for and
Yeah.
then some.
absolutely.
Well, Mr. Jeffrey Osborne, first of all, we thank you tremendously.
Oh, no,
Man.
thank you. This is good. This is great for
Oh,
me.
we're not done. We're not done. I'm just thanking
I'm
you.
just saying.
I'm just thanking you, brother. And periodically, I'm just gonna say thank you because you deserve that.
Absolutely.
We gotta
Maybe
get some
I
information
deserve-
from. Don't you?
Hey, hey, he became. Hey, you know what?
You know what?
Yeah,
Jeffrey,
me and Jeffrey.
me and Jeffrey. Yeah, stay tuned. We got some questions for you, man. We just need answers from you, man. You are deep in this R&B thing, man. You deep
Yeah.
in the R&B
Yeah, yeah.
streets, and we want to get perspective from you, theologian, in this. Top 5 R&B artists, male or female.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hard.
It's getting deep.
Top 5 R&B artists. I would have to say, I'd have to go back because I gotta say James Brown. I gotta say James because he just changed the whole picture of music when he was out. But I mean, I have artists like going way back that, like Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a voice that
Why not?
just unbelievable voice.
Yeah.
And then, Marvin,
Ooh.
Yeah.
Donny Hathaway,
Ooh, that's great.
Stevie. I mean, I can't even give you 5.
You just did.
That's a cold 5.
But I'm just saying,
That is a cold 5.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Because it may change. Like, it always changes.
You know,
depending
it
on
does.
You know,
It
what
does.
time of day. All right, that was okay. You ran through that. Mr. Songwriter, top 5 R&B songs. Yeah, I got the look on that one.
And you can use one of yours if
You
you are
can.
2 or 3 or 4.
Or
I mean, you
2.
got so many hits. So
You
I mean,
got
you can,
You got hits.
if you
know.
want,
If you want.
you can say outside
No,
of mine.
I can't do that.
Okay,
I can't
all right.
use one of mine.
All right.
Well, that's tough too. One of my favorite songs is "All Is Fair in Love."
Woo.
That's one of my all-time favorite songs. I mean, his vocal performance on that record was
Ridiculous.
second to none.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I mean, God, that's hard. I'd have to say just for what it did to wake up the country, I'd have to say What's Going On.
Yeah.
I mean, back then, to have a song, you know,
That really touched
Right.
everything.
Everything
Right.
and
the world was
everybody.
going through.
right?
Yep.
Exactly. And then you can just take any Aretha Franklin song you want.
You better believe it. You better believe it.
Put some
Put
respect.
some respect on it.
Oh my
All
God!
of it.
Yeah.
I mean, she was phenomenal, and I don't even know how I didn't have her as one of my top 5 R&B artists because she's amazing. It's hard to pick 5.
Got
Let's
2 more?
see.
You got 2
I'm
more.
saying, wow. I have to pick. It's almost like picking artists and songs at the same time, because you know, Gladys is one of my all-time favorites, and I have to say, I always wanted to do a duet with Gladys Knight. That's the one person I've always wanted to do a duet with, and I still want to.
Yeah, that'd be a great duet.
The R&B Money podcast makes things happen.
Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Hey man, put a call in.
Let's
the
see.
guys.
R&B songs.
But you got to tell us the Gladys song though. You got to give us the song though. You got to give us. You got to
Oh,
give us
well.
one.
Either one of us. Neither one.
Neither one.
You know.
I want to be the first.
Yeah. Neither one of us.
You
That's
said
the
it. No,
one.
you said it.
We want to say goodbye.
Okay, you hang
Yeah,
up. No, you
yeah,
hang up. I ain't gonna hang up. And then I'm not hanging up. I'm not hanging up.
And that's 4, right?
That's 4.
Man. 5. That's incredible. I'm gonna have to go with Donnie. I can't even think of the name of the song. It's "Hang on to the world as it spins around. Just don't let life keep you down. Things are moving fast." Donnie
I
was
cannot
amazing.
think of the title of that song. To save
Take
my
it
life
from
right now.
someday.
We'll all be free.
We'll all be
Yeah.
free.
Whew. Whew. Those you did really well.
mean,
Some
to not be
Jeffery-
able
there's
to.
some Jeffery Osborne.
it's
vocals
just-
on here.
We got everything on here, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all peeping what's happening. We want to make a R&B Voltron. You know what Voltron is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you know Voltron. We want to see who you get the vocals from, the performance style from, the styling from, and the passion from.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna start with the vocals.
Because you've been in this a long time.
Yeah, long
You
time.
get me?
Long time.
I want to know who had
You
who
wouldn't
had that
even
drip
believe
on.
it.
Who you getting the
wouldn't
vocals
even
from?
believe it. This is a lady, one of my favorite jazz singers, Gloria Lynn. A lot of people don't even know who Gloria Lynn is.
Yeah, I don't know who Gloria Lynn. I gotta look
And
that
I
up.
didn't know for years that I actually was emulating almost all of her vocal style. But as I listen to myself now and I listen back to her, I'm like, man, I'm using the same inflections, I'm using the same runs. I feel like I'm almost cloning myself from Gloria Lynn. She had such a, man, she had such an impact on me. And my sisters used to listen to her all the time.
Gloria Lynn.
She had
I
a
got
song
homework.
called You Don't Know What Love Is.
Yeah, we got some
You
homework
don't
to
know what love is. I mean, beautiful. Just, that's so weird. But that's who I think, for me, most of my vocal, inspiration came from like Gloria Lynn. And that's funny. I was in New York one time. I was on the radio talking, and I said, they asked me that question. I said, well, Gloria Lynn was one of my favorites. And she called in. She picked up the phone and called in. They said, guess who's on the line? I said, who? They said, Gloria Lynn. I said, you got to be kidding me. And I got
You had never met her before?
Never met her before.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
So I think I'd have to say her.
Okay.
Which is off the wall. Nobody would ever guess that. Never think that.
We're going to dive into that, my brother.
Yeah.
Who'd you get the performance style from?
I don't know if I get the performance style, but I got...
No, who would you, if you're right now we're building an artist.
Right.
Like you're making your perfect R&B artist.
Right.
Well, what you consider perfect. And you're taking Gloria Lynn vocals to put into this
exactly
Voltron. Who are you taking the performance style? Like who do you think has the stage on lock?
For me, I'm going back again. But I'm going to tell you, only because I toured with this guy and I watched him every single night and I watched him bring it every single night. And I sat there and said, God, if I can just do that every single night from a performance style, and that was Eddie Levert.
Ooh.
Eddie Levert brought it every
Top of the top.
single night.
Top of the top.
I'm telling you, every night, man.
I went on tour with him.
On tour, LTD, OJ. I sat there and we used to go back and forth at one another. He's like, yeah, well, don't let me get a hold of that love ballad. I'm like, yeah, well, don't let me get a hold of it.
That love thing, boy, don't make me.
And to the day, we're great friends. But, I mean, I watched that man give it all. And that, to me, that was it. He gave it all every single night.
I toured with him, as they were older.
Right.
But even still.
Yeah, but when he was younger.
You could tell. But you could tell, whatever suit he had on, he was sweating out of the whole suit. I've never seen sweat on the front of a suit jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Come through the
Pouring
suit
down
jacket.
with sweat.
Pouring down
Usually
with
the sweat
sweat.
is on the back.
Usually sweat on your back. Maybe come through the other arm. Coming through the front. Through the lapel
The
of
front
the
sweat?
jacket. It's the man is sweating. And I said, I can only imagine him at 25.
Oh, he was amazing, man.
Being a monster.
With
was
Jeffrey
ridiculous.
Osborne playing drums behind him.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then there's that.
These bars.
Okay. Performance style. Got it. The verb. Can't beat it. Styling. What you want your artist to look like. Who has that aesthetic?
Wow. Good question. Style. Damn, I never even crossed my mind. Because it ain't me.
I mean, y'all was on the album cover 10 deep
we
with no
had
shirts
No
on.
shirts. They had no
We had
shirts.
some stuff back in the day.
Y'all was tank
Those
early.
covers.
Y'all was tank early.
Y'all was
10
me
tanks.
early. 10 tanks.
I don't know, man. As far as, does it have to be a
Male or female?
male
or
or female?
Yeah.
I,
Just
Like, who do you
who
see
fly?
that put that, when you see them on stage, like they're
Right.
always,
I'd have to almost say Beyonce.
oof,
Yeah, I say fly.
fly.
I mean,
say
you know,
fly.
she
She don't
just
miss.
sets trends. You know what I mean?
She don't miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She don't miss. They
Okay.
gave her a clothing line for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gave her for a
Yeah.
reason.
Shout out Ivy Park.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out. We like Ivy Park.
Yeah.
We like for our ladies to get, the Ivy Park
got the
drops.
artists.
We got the, when it come out, nobody got it. Them big exclusive things y'all be sending around.
You don't want the box.
I don't want the box.
Back in the day, it was James. James used to come up with some outfits.
Oh,
for
James
us.
had it.
Yeah.
James
He
had
used to
it.
come out with it, boy.
He had the shirt that went all the way down almost to
Yeah,
your
no, because
belly
he was in
button.
shape too. So he was like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get y'all
Yeah.
that too.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get y'all that too.
I might have to bring that back out. The shirt to go.
No.
Oh, no, you sure?
No.
You sure? 'Cause
No.
it's R&B.
I'm telling you, man, he was styling back then. James,
All right.
you go
So,
through the Augusta airport, they still have his uniforms up in there.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Augusta.
Yeah.
You look at them,
Yeah, you gotta go
damn.
to Augusta.
He was wearing this.
Yeah. They
Wearing
go
it.
through that airport.
Yeah,
He was wearing it.
He was wearing it.
Yeah.
even when he got a little chubby,
Yep.
he still
Where my fit at?
he put his.
I can fit it. I
James,
can fit it.
James, you shouldn't.
No, just loosen up things.
But do listen to the thing. Put it on me. All right. Last one. Who you getting the passion from? The heart of the artist,
Passion.
the soul of the artist.
You know, that's a good question too. Because I stole from so many.
That's how it goes. I'm with you.
You know,
I'm with
take
you.
a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Mm-hmm. But let's see. I don't know. I keep going back. And I have to say one of the best live performances I ever heard was Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
Sam Cooke back in the day had so much passion. It's unbelievable. Him live at the Copa, that record, that dude was amazing.
Yeah.
I'd have to say I got a lot from Sam. Just his overall passion was amazing.
Wow. You know what's crazy is that, like, as I listen to you talk about all these artists, I feel like another reason you've been able to stay for so long outside of, you know, your gift and your musical contributions, I think is because it just feels like you as a good person, people have wanted you to win. People have felt that love for you and always supported and sent that back to you, which
Yeah.
I think keeps people afloat in ways that you don't realize when you're a good person,
Right.
a supportive person.
Yeah.
That comes so full circle.
Yeah.
when
You
it
can tell how
comes
much
to-
you appreciate the art and appreciate the artists that come before you.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. People can feel that. Like, I always tell a lot of artists, like make a difference in that way. Your record is one thing, your talent is one thing. I said, but make a difference with people.
Yeah.
Because
Without a doubt.
the difference in sometimes you getting a gig or not getting a gig, like, I've gotten a lot of gigs not because I was the bigger artist at the time, but, you know, the program director might be like, you know what? I like
What we
Tate, though.
think.
Yeah.
We like
Well,
him.
yeah.
When he comes, the smile is great. He treats our people good.
Right.
Let's-
Yeah.
let's use-
Just
let's
like
use-
you said it earlier when you were just like, yeah, the after parties were different then.
Yeah.
But it was we're going to hang out with the promoter.
Yeah.
Right.
Now these guys, like, they don't want to talk to nobody. They don't want to be around nobody. It's like,
Right.
you have, like, we're in the service industry. No matter what you think,
Yeah.
you're supplying a service.
Yeah.
And once people don't want your service anymore, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
That's right.
You're in trouble, no matter what kind of gifts you got.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to take time with your fans too, especially, you know, when you're out and you're on the road and you're in the hotels and people run up to you and, you know, I hate to see somebody snob people because that's to
Yeah,
me
that's not
the
cool.
easiest thing in the world is to be nice to someone.
Yeah.
It just takes so much energy to be nasty.
It does.
It's, you know,
Yeah.
the easiest
and
thing is to
why?
be. I just don't get it.
Jay will tell you all the time, I like people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
I'll have
too.
a conversation with anybody.
Tank has never
Right.
met a stranger.
I've never met a stranger.
He's
Yeah.
never
I'll
met
talk
a stranger.
to anybody. We just engage in an hour-long conversation. They're
Right.
like, who was that? I was like, I don't know.
He was cool.
He was cool, though. We caught a vibe. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
That's-
I'm like that. I grew up in a house of 12,
yeah,
so I like people. You know, I've always just had that bond of people around me, and so I like people. So, and that makes a big difference.
It makes
really
a big
does.
difference.
Yeah.
I mean, I get asked. I stopped doing these cruises because that reason. Because
You were the king.
because they were
of
like,
the cruises.
we want you to do the cruise. We want you to stay on because you're so nice to the people. I was like, yeah, but when I come out that cabin, they are all over you.
On you. On you.
Right?
On you.
Jefferey!
They are
Jefferey,
on you, boy.
Come on, let's take this picture. I don't know how to turn this camera around. I'm trying to figure out.
that is the funny.
Nancy, how you turn this camera around? We taking up too much of your time. We taking up too much of your time. We're just trying to get this camera.
And it's like, I took a picture with you yesterday. Yeah, but that was yesterday.
They got a whole new outfit.
I'm wearing a whole different.
I got on my Michael Kors purse today.
Yeah.
They need to see this.
Hold on, it's something that we didn't skip it over. We just hadn't got to it yet. Mm-hmm. Very, very, very. This is. I don't even know if we got enough alcohol, liquor, champagne to pour when I bring up this.
Bring it up. Bring it up.
We are the world. We are the world. Mm-hmm. We are the children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This was one of the first songs that I ever sang.
Really?
Ever.
Wow, you really make me feel old now.
This was like my parents, my dad especially would make me get in the living room, make me and my brothers, we all sang, and my sister, and we would have to sing "We Are the World." And we loved that record so much.
Yeah.
And you were a part of this record. This record had every major artist
It was crazy.
known to man at this time
Absolutely.
on this record. And you have to tell us the backstory to "We Are the World," and if there was some people who didn't get on this record that was salty.
And then explain the one piece of video where Michael Jackson is looking at what's the word?
Oh yeah.
Was it Bruce Springsteen?
I think it was Bruce Springsteen.
He was looking. He was
I think
like,
too much. Yeah.
"Yeah, but we can fall." He's like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think you should do that.
It was incredible, man. It was, they set it up perfectly because it was after the American Music Awards show. So that finished at 6 or 7 o'clock that night. And I got the call the day before from Quincy. And he said, "Man, are you able to do this song, We Are the World? He told me all these artists on it." I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And the only reason I got the call is because Prince canceled on it.
Oh wow!
What?
So Prince fell out at the last minute. And Quincy said, "Man, I got a spot, man. I got a spot. Can you come?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can come. I'll be there." And it was just amazing to see that many people in A&M studios that night. And it was magical. It was absolutely magical. And you had Stevie in one corner at the piano, and he's going over everybody's parts. He's playing, and they're just trying to sing their little solo part. And and you had Al Jarreau over here, and Al is in tears because, Al is one of them real spiritual, emotional people.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And you guys had so many facets going on all over the place. I think the most incredible moment was when we all stopped and everybody took their sheet music and had everybody sign it. And to see that many artists walking around getting signatures from the other
From each
artists.
other, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I have
Yeah.
I have mine framed.
So this is like the jersey swap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
With all Michael Jordans though.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. So I still have mine framed, but it was pretty amazing. So, and I didn't get a chance to sing. I was like, damn, I want to sing.
Get you a lead. Give me 2 words, Quincy. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
So
You know what I
check
do.
So Quincy says, hey, man, I know you didn't get a chance to sing, but why don't you just wait, and at the end, we'll set up a couple of mics, and we'll have a few people just ad-lib, and then you can throw an ad-lib in here. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
So we waited at the end. It was probably 6 o'clock in the morning. We was in there all night long.
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning. And it was me, it was James, and it was Diana Ross. And we sat there and we sang ad-libs. And then I get the call from Quincy, and we can't use the ad-libs. I'm like, why? He said, Diana sang through everybody else's ad-libs. She wouldn't stop.
She
She just kept singing. I'm like,
y'all
are you
gonna
kidding
get
me?
this work.
You gonna get this
Y'all gonna
work.
get this work.
I am Diana Ross,
so-
and these are the
These are the Supremes.
But yeah, it was pretty. I just got a call last week that they're trying to do a special on We Are the World. It's like the 25th year anniversary or something. And they wanted me to come up to A&M and do a interview on what the night was like.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. It was a pretty special night.
Yeah, that was an amazing record. Do you know how many units that sold? I mean, I
have
know it was
no
off of
idea.
charity, but I'm sure
Yeah.
it's like
I have no idea.
it has to be the biggest single ever. No,
It had to be one of them. I'm trying to figure out if they ever tracked all the money down.
huh?
Because it was.
Oh, it got tricky with the money. Oh,
I think he got tricky. I don't know what happened, but
they was playing with the We Are the
it was
World
all
money.
supposed to go to charity.
People play with any money.
They would play with any. They play with the church's money.
They play with church money. They
They'll
play with the
play with the
world money.
Wow. Did y'all even get a plaque? Anything? Like, is there a We Are the World plaque?
I never got a plaque or anything.
Come
gotta
on.
get
You would think,
come
you
on.
would
Get you a
think
plaque.
that
It's
it
got to
would've
be
been-
a plaque.
There should have been. Plaque.
Somebody hit up the RIAA. It's got to be certified at 400 million copies or something, man. Just fill up the room with it.
Yeah, it had to be a ridiculous amount. It was
Yeah.
like the biggest thing ever, and everybody had it in their show. Everybody, I was doing it in my show. I had 3 or 4 vocalists singing parts and stuff. and
Yeah.
I went to see Harry Belafonte. He's doing it in his show. It's funny, the people that were in it, you'd be like, wow. And everybody was doing it in their shows live when that came out. It was big. You're right. It was one of the biggest songs ever.
Amazing.
He dropped a lot of names in that one.
Yeah, no, he didn't even drop all the names either. He didn't
Oh,
have
yeah,
to.
no,
There's
there's-
so many people that were part of that.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
Did you? Okay, so as a vocalist though, did you ever have a moment like, those vocals are tricky? Why they letting them sing?
Should let me sing that part.
Because we all singers and we didn't been in rooms and we like,
He ain't me.
yeah, yeah.
Quincy, you know I can do that part.
Right, exactly.
Did you ever? I know you had a moment where you were just like,
Well, you always think, damn, why didn't I get that shot? But the beautiful thing was, everybody sang what they wanted to sing. They brought their own individuality to
Yeah,
it. You
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
They didn't try to be somebody else. Like even Bob Dylan. I mean, he was just Bob Dylan.
He was Bob Dylan.
There wasn't many melodic notes, but he got it out.
You got it.
right.
You know?
But yeah. You got
got it
Bob
out. He
Dylan, you got
was
Cyndi
talking it.
Lauper. Yeah. Like they
Yeah.
But we remember it to this
We
day.
remember it, though.
We remember it to this
Right.
day. No, that was great, man. And I just had to bring that up because that was a pivotal part of my childhood.
Yeah.
That record and just, seeing that togetherness. And it's probably something I still tap into and why I feel like things should be more collaborative.
Yeah.
Because that was my first time seeing major artists.
Together.
Together.
Like that. Yeah. Yeah, it was powerful. It was powerful.
Extremely powerful.
Yeah.
So we're going to go from We Are the World,
Talk to him.
woo, to
Yeah.
this great section. It's called I Ain't Saying No Names.
Ooh, don't say
Oh
no name.
my God.
Yeah,
Don't say no
yeah,
names.
yeah. Because there was enough names on We
You
Are the
been saying
World.
our names,
But yeah. So the rules of this segment of the show is you tell us a story, funny or fucked up, or funny and fucked up. But the only rule is you can't say the names.
No.
So this is Jeffrey Osborne's woo 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 version
Oh my God.
Vine.
of I Ain't Saying No Names.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them moments.
You had R&B music, brother.
Yeah.
you did.
He done been to a lot of places, seen a lot of things.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of places. I've seen stampedes. I mean, that was crazy. One night in New Orleans, it was just at the Dome. And it's us and the OJs and
saying names.
Function.
No, he's telling a whole nother story. Let him
There's a whole nother story.
Yeah, let him
But
tell
I'm
his
just
story,
saying.
Tank.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But,
I'm sorry.
And then I don't know what happened. Something happened in the crowd and people went crazy. And they came in, mounted police on horses,
What?
running through the crowd, trampling people.
Trampling people
Trampling
on
people
horses.
On horseback. Yeah.
Oh, man.
They wow.
And that was crazy.
They wow.
But I have to say, I was on tour with this one group.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Put my chip down.
Yeah. With
I
this
need
one
this.
group.
And
One
and
group.
everybody
my
know
out.
this group because they still,
Yeah.
they was popping back then. And so we go to the sound check. So, we're upset. We're waiting around to do our sound check, and they taking all day. And we're like in the back talking, come on, goddamn. We got to get our sound check in. What the hell is going on? And they just messing around. And somebody yelled out too loud. The next thing you know was pow, 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 gunshots everywhere. And we ducking down, and some person's behind the drums. And we actually finally made it out of there. And it was, I can't say no names. I can't tell you who it was.
Somebody shot at y'all
Shot-
over the sound check time?
They were actually shooting at each other, and we were in the room. They were fighting
they
amongst
caught
each
their
other
own
at
beef.
the sound. Yeah, they were sound checking, and we were trying to boom along. They start yelling and then talking back and forth. Next thing you know, they start shooting at each other.
Oh, man. See, this is why we don't have
It's
groups
R&B
anymore.
music.
This is why we don't have groups.
Trying to tell y'all. Hip hop ain't got nothing on us.
Listen.
We shooting at the sound check.
Hip hop ain't got nothing on us.
They shot up the sound.
They shot it. They sure did.
Wow. Yeah, that didn't take R&B to a whole nother level.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And that was when? That was in the 70s. Probably 78.
Here's a better question. Did y'all still do the show?
Yeah, we did do the show.
And they did theirs too?
And they did
yeah.
theirs too. Yeah.
Come on,
We
come
did
on,
the show.
come on.
Show must go on.
The show must go on.
You got to get to the R&B money.
Hey, listen. Pull that bullet out, wrap him up,
Right?
stitch him up, put some bandages on it. We got work to do tonight.
Sing these damn songs.
Sing these damn songs. We got R&B work to do tonight. Listen, man. Brother Jeffery Osborne, man, you are you. You are him. And you are you have beyond stood the test of time. You are still thriving in this wonderful place that we call R&B music that we love and behold so dearly. And you are our elder. you are him, and we have
All the
nothing but
respect.
love and flowers and respect for you. And we look forward to you having to continue to cancel shows because you are overbooked
Yeah.
Yeah.
right now.
Right now, yeah.
At 74, about to be 75 in
right.
March.
And shout out to your daughter, Tiffany,
Come on, Tim.
All right.
your son-in-law, Frank,
Come on,
Right.
Frank.
and
you
my
go.
guy, Lil Jeff.
Yeah.
And the
Oh, that's
grandkids.
my
'Cause
guy.
this is why this happened right
Yeah,
here. This is
yeah.
why this happened right here. We
I
appreciate
you know what?
them.
You're right about that.
We appreciate them.
I love what Tiffany and Frank are doing over there at the district. And my son, he's my house engineer. He
Yeah.
does my live sound. He's incredible.
And he do karate.
And he's doing all that video work
yeah.
over there.
And the video work.
yeah, he does a lot. He's
Yeah.
good. He's good.
You know that's where my juice spot is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, herbal
Right.
juice in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Come
Talk
on,
about the juice
district. Come on.
Valentine.
Come on, black
got
business.
juice,
Come on,
baby.
black business, baby.
Healthy juices for the community. We love you, man.
Oh, thank
Man,
you.
Simple-
man.
simple
This
plan.
is great,
Real.
man.
We
Thank you
love
for
you.
having me.
So I'm Tank.
I'm J Valentine.
And this has been the R&B Money Podcast, the authority
Yeah.
on all things R&B, with an authorian. Authoritan? What's the word?
I don't know.
Okay.
Old guy.
Still in the game, Mr. Jefferey Osborne.
All right.
Ooh, yeah. R&B money.